Even though public school is horrible for our children,
Yes.
it was one of the only times our children could get a break from the trauma of the home. Do you see that? I might not be learning,
Right.
but I ain't got to get bullied by my brother.
Right.
I ain't got to get molested by my uncle. I ain't got to get emotionally traumatized by my mom. I ain't got to worry about the abandonment of my dad. You see that?
I see that.
So for school, although they're not learning, for many of them, it was the only break they could get.
Right.
And just to double back on that ADHD topic really quick, Nick, I often find two competing explanations for so-called ADHD. One you already hit on because you went through it,
Right.
and that is a gifted child whose giftedness is being ignored and blamed on ADHD.
Right.
He ain't got ADHD, he's smart. And the curriculum ain't challenging him.
Right.
That's why he hyper and inattentive, because he's bored,
Right.
The other one, brother Nick, is a child who comes to school dealing with emotional problems from home and can't focus on the work because I'm reliving the trauma of the house.
Right.
So now we got these teenage black girls committing suicide. And one of the reasons why they're committing suicide is the fatherlessness has made them vulnerable
Wow.
to so many types of abuse and exploitation
Wow.
that they take in their own lives.
Right.
I personally was part of a situation
Wow.
where a girl in a high school in Philadelphia, we found her in the girls' bathroom, wrist slit.
Wow.
Guess why? Her boyfriend broke up with her. That is how desperate a lot of our girls are because of the absentee fatherism. And when I say fatherism, I don't just mean her biological.
Right.
I'm saying black men. Because here's the thing, brother Nick. Every woman on the planet Earth, and of course I'm focusing on my sisters, but I want what's best for the others as well, but I'm gonna focus on us. Every black woman needs a black man who genuinely cares and loves about her, who doesn't want what's between her legs. You understand me? Normally, that's your father, but a lot of them, the fathers ain't there. That could be your grandfather. He might be an ancestor. That could be your uncle. He might be stationed off in the military zone somewhere. You understand?
Facts.
Every girl needs a man who's intimately in love with him, but not sexually.
Right.
When she don't get that, she go looking for that. And that's why we got a teenage pregnancy problem in the black community.
Right.
If we didn't have a fatherless problem, if we didn't have a fatherlessness problem, there would be no teenage pregnancy problem.
Yeah.
Teenage pregnancy is not about sex.
Right.
It's not about promiscuity.
Yeah.
It's about a girl looking for the father's validation. And because he's not there, she goes shopping elsewhere.
Wow.
Now let's bring this to the black on black love. As you know, black people are the last to marry and the first to divorce. And the black woman is the last to get married and the first to get divorced. Right? Now, because we are the most traumatized community, that trauma automatically affects our relationships. You can't talk about healthy black male-female love if you don't talk about black on black community dysfunction.
Right.
Why would the family be functional if no other institution is?
Right.
You see that? Don't divorce the family from everything else we got going in the community, which is dysfunctional. Now, too often, Nick, from a psychological perspective, we go into relationships looking to fulfill needs that our parents never did.
Right.
So the relationship is a means to an end of getting something you never got.
Right.
And the main things we're looking for from our opposite partner, we're looking for intimacy and love. We're looking for availability and presence. We're looking for trust and dependency. And we're looking for reciprocity and the ability to share. Those are 4 things you needed from your mother, 4 things you needed from your father. If you got both, you can love and you can leave. If you didn't get both, you might be unstable, insecure, and unstable in certain areas.
That's power. That's more powerful than the 5 love languages.
You see?
You need to coin that and write a book on that
And
one.
on top of that, brother Nick,
Yeah.
what the opposite gender parent did to you or didn't do matters most. See, my father could have been present. My father and I could have been intimate father-son, healthy. My father could have been trustworthy. We could have been able to share and exchange. But what if I couldn't do it with my mom?
Didn't get any of those.
Do you see that?
Right.
I'm going to look for a woman to do for me what my mother could not. You ever been in a relationship with a woman where you felt like you was more than a husband? You had to be the father too. See that? That's where that comes from, Nick. She had an unmet need. Daddy didn't do it. So now I need Nick to do this. And you weighing on me too much because I'm your king.
Yeah.
But now you want me to be your
Daddy.
dad. I didn't sign up for both roles.
Right.
And you draining me.
Yeah.
I love you, but you draining me. If you don't pull back off this father role, I might got to leave this relationship because in essence, what you have become to me is a spiritual vampire. What is a spiritual vampire, Nick? A spiritual vampire is a psychologically, emotionally unhealthy African floating around the community looking for somebody to heal illnesses and injuries to their soul that only their parents can fix.
Wow.
Emotional vampires think that if I find the right man, if I find the right woman, he can heal me. No, he can't. That damage was done by your family of origin, and it got to be repaired there. You ever watch one of those old horror movies, Freddy Krueger, Jason or something, and they want to finally kill Jason or Freddy,
Right.
and the person comes and tell them, you got to go back to where they was born. You got to go back to the beginning.
Right.
The same thing is in relationships.
The origin story.
The same thing is, and what I tell black women, if you know you weighing too heavily on your king, go find you a surrogate dad. Go find you an elder, somebody who's too old to want something from you, and ask him, can he be that person that can give you honest advice and a hug when you need it? And the same thing with men. Because for men who didn't have their mother, not only do they look for women to fulfill those needs, Nick, but you know what else? They become the domestic abusers. If you were to interview men who abuse their women of any race, but we're talking about us, you will find that disproportionately, they were either abandoned by their mothers or abused by their mothers in some way. They carry that pain in them. It never went away. And guess what? When the girlfriend starts letting them down and disappointing them,
It's transferred to her.
the transference from the mother.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, well, you probably do because you read the news. We dealing with an epidemic of black men killing black women, choking them, killing it. We never did that. We never did that. And now we doing it. Going back to your mental health piece. Black men, because we are the most oppressed, we're the most traumatized. But you know what else? Because of our definitions of masculinity, which says a man can't be vulnerable to get help, we're the least likely to go get some damn help.
Fact.
Black men are in pain, but we covered up with the exterior. But when we get behind the privacy of our door and our home, we let all that pain out on the only person who loves us unconditionally, and that's the woman. You see, I always tell people this. If you don't like you, why are you expecting him to like you?